Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking disappointing products. I came across the bag of disappointment this morning. It looks a little something like this. Probably shouldn't have made the bag of disappointment a Chanel bag because we all know that Chanel is never disappointing. But as you can see, the bag was pretty much overflowing and it's just making a mess. So I decided that we need to have a chat about these pronto so I can get them out my house. If disappointing products videos aren't your thing, do not worry because I have an affordable product worth the hype coming up in a couple of weeks, I think. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. But until then, get ready for the bag of disappointment. Also, a little disclaimer before we get started, I always say this, but I'm not gonna really apologize for not liking things in this video. These are just things that I didn't get on with, but it doesn't mean that they're a terrible product. It just means that they didn't work for me, but they might work for somebody else. So I'll kind of try and hint at what they could or who they could work for in this video. So if there's something in here that you love and it works really well for you, tell everyone in the comments how you use it and how it works for you, because it might just be that I'm using this the wrong way and there might be other people that are in the same boat. So I love these videos purely because there's such great discussion in the comments about certain products and how people use them. So yeah, none of these products are terrible, but feel free to like chat about them in the comments because honestly, these are my favorite videos to read the comments on. I say feel free to chat in the comments like you need my permission. You don't, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to get started with the product that I think has been sitting in this bag the longest, and it is the Kate Somerville Goat Milk Cream. And I wanted to get my hands on this for so long. The real issue with this for me is that I actually feel like it dries my skin out more than anything. It's meant to be quite hydrating and I just don't find that on my skin, which is dry, dehydrated skin, it is hydrating at all. I think maybe if you had oilier skin, this would work perfectly, but for me, I just cannot get on with it. I also find that it breaks me out a little bit as well. It was just really disappointing all around, especially because this product has been so hyped up. I feel like that happens a lot for us UK girls. When there's something you can't get your hands on instantly, you get so excited to go and pick it up from the US, and then actually in the end, it doesn't quite live up to the hype because you build it up in your brain and then no. Next up is a more recent one that I have mentioned, I think maybe a few videos ago. I love the Collab dry shampoo, but I decided to try out a new fragrance and I'd had so many people saying how much they love the Paris fragrance of the Collab dry shampoo. It just smells like a man's dry shampoo. I was just really disappointed with the scent of this. I just felt like the scent inside does not meet the packaging at all. This is all like floral and rosy. Does not smell like that at all, and I was just quite disappointed with it. Next, we have something that I really wanted to love. I really did. I wanted to love it so much. Charlotte Tilbury sent me over their magic cream, the night cream. I was so excited to try this. I really do like the day cream, but for me, the night cream was super thick. It feels more like it should be a mask than anything else, and it's incredibly rich, which I think if you have more mature skin or maybe like super dry skin, mine's more dehydrated than dry most of the time, I feel like you might get on with this. I really feel like this is just too rich, and I find that I get a lot of under the skin bumps when I use this. Like it's just clogging my skin. I didn't even feel like I was waking up in the morning and my skin looked really plump. It just looked kind of normal, and for the fact that this is a lot of money, I think it's around £80, I would expect my skin to look amazing when I wake up in the morning, not just normal. The next product is more of a recent one, and I've been using this and testing this a lot recently. I actually love this. I really do, but I'm so upset about it because it's actually breaking me out. Obviously, breakouts are a very personal thing, but I thought I'd mention this just in case you have skin that is very sensitive to fragrance, because mine is, and often I will try out new products anyway. Some fragrances don't irritate my skin, but some really do. It's often the ones that are very heavily fragranced, and unfortunately this is super heavily fragranced. It's the NARS Laguna Tierra bronzer. I think that's how you say it. It is the most incredible bronzer. Like, the way it looks on my skin is just, yes, it's so strong. It smells delicious, like it smells so lovely, but it is just giving me little like under the skin bumps, and it's all around the areas where I would apply this. But if your skin isn't sensitive to fragrance, I would 100% recommend this because the packaging is beautiful, the product is beautiful, and it smells great too. Next up, we need to have a discussion about this one. This foundation is one that I showed in my recent Sephora haul, and I have tried to love this so much. I'm going to continue, but I've been trying it for a few weeks now, and I just always end up taking it back off and putting something else on instead because it just does not sit on my skin. I've tried it using tiny amounts. I've tried it using like a medium-sized amount in comparison to what I used the first time. The first time I definitely used way too much. I just cannot get on with it. I've tried it using a brush, fingers, beauty blender. I'm going to try it again in the summer to see if it makes any more difference because I feel like maybe my skin is too dry and dehydrated for this one. And lots of people that have oilier skin have said they love it, but then again, lots of people with dry skin in my comments have said that they love it. So I'm confused. Next up, I have a new shampoo shampoo and conditioner launch, which I actually really like, but the smell. If you can't tell by this video, I'm very particular on smells. The shampoos themselves are lovely, they're super volumizing, and they're meant to help strengthen your hair over time, and I'm like, yes, my hair always needs like extra strength because I batter it. But it actually smells like the Victoria Station toilets, and that is something that I just don't want to be walking around with. Like, you know when you walk around and your hair smells great and you're like, yes, I am worth it. Like, I do not feel like that when I use these. Next up, we have a foundation that I've spoken about recently, and on first impressions, I absolutely loved this foundation. It's very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Magic foundation. Everything looks really even and flawless, and it's super high coverage. It's absolutely beautiful, but on me, obviously I have dry, dehydrated skin, as I've already said. It dries and it just cakes and makes everything look so much worse. Like, there are lines on my face that I didn't realize I had until I used this, because it just exaggerated everything. Now, the one thing that I have recently discovered, and loads of you will be like, no shit, Susie, is adding a drop of oil to your foundation before you apply it. And that for me has made such a difference with my more matte foundations. Sorry, my phone is going crazy at the moment. So I'm actually going to try using that method with this and see if it makes any difference. But without adding anything extra to it, I just feel like if you have dry, dehydrated skin, I would definitely like take a little like sample pot into Boots and just squirt a bit of this in before buying it, because I think that it could potentially be a waste of money if you have dry, dehydrated skin. So the last 5 things I have in this bag are all really hyped up things, and they've been sitting in this bag for so long that they are actually dusty. The first one is the Kiehl's Clearly Corrective Dark Circle Perfector SPF 30. This has been spoken about by quite a few people, and they rave about it being really good for like covering up your dark circles and being really hydrating and working as an eye cream as well as a like corrector. And for me, in terms of correcting, it's not the right shade. I need a much more pinky, salmony color to correct my under eyes. And in terms of hydrating, I don't think it's hydrating at all. I think maybe if you have oilier skin, it will be amazing. So for me, in terms of everything this is meant to do, it just did not work for me, unfortunately. My friend Alex actually loves this and she raves about this all the time. So this will be going to her because it works so well on her, but for me, it's a no. I'm going to follow that up with another under eye corrector that didn't work for me. And this is the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Corrector. And this is meant to be like their creamy correctors, but in a liquid form. Because it's a serum, it's meant to be less drying than the creamy version of this, and it's meant to be better for drier skins because of that. But I just found that it was no more hydrating than the cream version. If anything, I actually prefer the cream version over this. It was a pretty good color match, and I feel like if this had been any more hydrating, I would have loved it, but for me, it just didn't meet my expectations, especially when it's meant to be aimed at more drier skins. And I'm going to follow that up with another one from Bobbi Brown, which I was just really disappointed with because it has been so hyped up, and I just found that for me this did not live up to the hype. It's the full coverage face brush. I find it really hard to say that, and so many different YouTubers love this, and I was so excited to get my hands on it. It's the perfect like travel size, and the density of the brush looks really good, and everyone that uses it just has the most flawless looking foundation. So I was like, I'm gonna need this because this seems to be everyone's go-to staple buffing brush. There are so many more affordable buffing brushes that I own that are of a similar quality to this, so I just didn't really understand the hype, and I was a little bit disappointed with this one. I probably will still keep it in my little pots back there that you can see, just as like a backup for when I need a clean blending brush, but for me, I just don't feel like it was worth the hype or the money. And the final two are some seriously spendy products that I'm kind of glad I don't love because they are so ridiculously expensive. The first one is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. Everyone loves this, everyone says it's so good. For me, there are just so many more affordable primers that are better than this. Even high-end primers that are more affordable, like the Kiehl's Micro Blur Skin Perfector or Benefit's Professional, they are amazing, and this just didn't really do that much in comparison to those. This one just feels so silicone heavy, like it's just so slippy, and for me, I don't really like the idea of putting that on my skin. Like, it just doesn't feel very nice. And finally, we have the world's most expensive tinted moisturizer. This is the Chantecaille Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer. This one has been talked about, I feel like, almost since before I started YouTube. It's meant to be just like the holy grail tinted moisturizer, meant to be like good coverage but feels super lightweight, and for me, I just didn't feel like it was that great. I definitely see that it has like an okay amount of coverage for a tinted moisturiser, but it's very thick and I just found it to be very cakey on my skin, which isn't something that I associate with the tinted moisturiser at all. Again, I've tried using tiny amounts, I've used more, I've used a medium-sized amount, and I just can't get on with this, and it's just very disappointing considering I think the price has risen of this and it's actually not even like £50 anymore, it's like nearly £60 or something like that. This is crazy expensive, and for me, I just didn't really feel like it was any better than like the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. That stuff is amazing. So that is it for my disappointing products video. I really hope you guys like this. As I said before, please let me know in the comments if you have a specific way that you like to use these products and you made them work for you, or if you found that they were a bit disappointing as well. Let me know. I just love reading the comments in these videos. They're like the best thing ever. Also, let me know if you would like me to do these more often, because I generally love having a moan about the things that I didn't like. So yeah, let me know if you want to see these more often. But I'm gonna go now because I feel like I'm getting weird because I haven't eaten and I'm hungry. But I hope you're all having a lovely day, whatever you are doing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.